Have you ever wondered who has lived in your home before you? Or maybe you want to know how old your house is. Or you're looking for ancestors' property. If you want to know the answers to these questions, you have to start your research at the county offices. We're going to show in Medina County where you start. And we start at the Medina County Auditor's website. You reach that by going to the medinacountyauditor.org. Once you get to the home page, you'll see at the top in the toolbar, Real Estate. You scroll across Real Estate until you get the drop-down menu. You'll see Property Search. Click on Property Search, and it brings up the form you need to fill out. You either need to fill in the owner, the parcel number, or the street number and name. We are going to be using the example of the McDowell Phillips house in Medina, owned by the Medina County Historical Society. The street number and name for that is 205 South Prospect. You'll notice in the search tips that it tells us to omit punctuation, so I did not put a period after the S. It also says to omit using the words road, street, or even their abbreviations. If you use those, it will not bring up the type of response you want. If you know that the township that you're looking for has the street that you're looking for is in other townships, you need to go to the advanced search. You'll click on taxing district and then select your tax district. In this instance, it's the Medina City. You'll scroll down and click search. Here are the first parts of your property search results. It gives you the parcel number, the owner, and the street number and name. To continue, you'll click on the parcel number. This page will give you a lot more information. It again gives you the parcel number and the owner's name, but it also gives you the city lot number, and this is very important to know for future research. So you may want to make a print of the top part of this page. If you scroll down, you'll see in the dwelling information that the auditors put that the house was built in 1890. This year may be an estimate. It could be right, but it may be an estimate, so always keep that in the back of your mind. As you scroll down a little further, you do see a dwelling sketch. Remember, this is a sketch of what it looks like today. If you want to know what the numbers and letters mean, you can always click on Sketch Codes key. But for now, we're going to scroll up to the top of the page, and we're going to continue our search by going to Transfers. On the Transfer page, it shows when the Medina County Historical Society bought the property from the Phillips family in 2019. In 2018, there is some kind of transaction between the Phillips family and the Phillips family, and you notice that no money has been exchanged. So we know that that wasn't a sale of the property, but something has happened. So this information we need to find out more about. So keep that in the back of your mind when you're doing the research, and also make a copy of this portion of the website. Usually we would have the names of 3 owners already of this property, but because the same owner is mentioned twice, we only have 2. So we will continue our research. We now go to Tax Map. We click on that, and it takes you to an actual map that shows the parcel. Here's the parcel. You notice that it ends in 379. I always try to remember the last 3 numbers. It's easier. And 205 is the address. I also like to zoom out so I can get a look at the surrounding area. You notice that here is the railroads. West Washington dead ends into the property. Blake Avenue's above it, and Prospect Street is the street that it's on. It's always good to know this type of information because as you go back in the years and the maps get older, a lot of this information is not put on the map. So you're going to have to use landmarks to look for the property. If you want to look at the historical maps, you're going to go over to the data layers on the left. In the overlays, you see historical property info. If you click on the plus next to that word, it gives you another menu, scanned or GIS based. You want to click on the plus near scanned. This gives you a drop down of the years of the tax maps that have been digitized and put on the website. I want to remind you that when you're doing research, you always want to start with the most recent record. And in this case, it's the 1990 tax maps. In order to look at them, this is how you're going to do it. You'll first click next to the year, and you see that these gray boxes pop up on the map. We're going to be able to click on those and see the pages, but there's a few steps in between. First of all, I want to show you that this says index, and in 1990, the index is not very helpful. However, in the older maps, it can be very helpful, so you may want to look at it then. But for tonight, we're going to go over to the box that's closest to your property, and that's this one right here. You can't just click on it to see it. You have to go to the toolbar at the top, and you see this blue circle with a white eye in it. When you scroll over it, the word identify pops up. You'll click it once, and then you'll scroll over with your marker to the map. And now you see a light blue circle with some crosshairs in the middle and a dark blue circle with an eye. You'll take that over and you'll take the crosshairs and just click on that box. You'll notice now to the left, another tab has been opened up, Identify. So we see the numbers on this gray box is 19, 19A, 21, SW. That's the numbers we want to look for in our drop-down menu. So we will scroll down until we find it. And here it is, 19A, 21, SW. And you'll click on the word View. Now, yes, this is a very blurry map. So in order to see a better copy of it, you're going to click on the JPEG and that downloads the map. So now that the JPEG is open, we're going to look for the property. So you just need to zoom in, and now we're going to look for where West Washington dead ends, the property under Blake Avenue, and along South Prospect. Here it is over on the side. So let's get a little closer so we can read the information. As we scroll over, we notice a few things. First of all, at the top of it, you see 205, so we know we're at the right property. And if you scroll down even farther, though, you see other property numbers, 223, 225, and 229. Another difference about this piece of property is the 311 is the old lot number, because that's where they're going to be putting the lot numbers right there on the parcel. So 311 is not 9208. So that means that it is the old lot number. Another thing that shows us there's been some changes in this plot since 1990 is this number here in the oval. The last three digits are the last three digits of the old parcel number. So something has definitely happened with this property. The owners at the time in 1990 were Andrew J. Phillips and C. Hughes Phillips. Another clue are these dates. These are the dates that some type of transaction has happened on the parcel, and those records will be recorded at the recorder's office. I would definitely make a copy of this part of the map, or at least write down the information that's on this parcel. I'm going to go back a little farther just to show you the different types of maps that there are. I'm going to unclick 1990 because if I kept that clicked, it would show too many boxes and be too confusing. So I've unclicked it and I'm going to go back to 1950. Again, we see the gray boxes. There's index and there's just a plain page. So we can't just click on it again. You notice that there's no blue circle around the crosshairs. You have to go back to the eye and click on it. You'll scroll back over towards the map and you see again, there's your blue circle. Once you have that blue circle, you can click on your page. We're not going to click on the index. We'll click on the page that's closest to our property, and it just happens to be right on top of the parcel. So we'll click on that. Now this says 9:2. So we're going to go look for that. Here it is right here, 9:2, and we're going to view it. Once again, we get a blurry map, and this time we're offered a TIFF or PDF. I like the PDFs. I think they're easier to maneuver around. Again, it's downloaded, and we open it up. And now you see the map. We're going to get a little closer. And you notice, though, when we come to the end of West Washington, and there's Blake, and there's South Prospect, but there's no names and there's no numbers. So it's a little disappointing, but don't give up. You see also that there's a number 14 real close to the property. That's the page number we're going to go back and look for in the drop-down menus. So again, remember this number 14. So we go back to the Identify tab. You'll just need to click on it and it brings it back up. And you'll scroll through the different names and look for 14. And there it is, 914. So let's click on that. For some reason, it got a little bit confused, and that can happen sometimes. Again, you get a TIFF or PDF. Click the PDF, and we'll open it. And it's a little light, so we're going to get as close to we can to the map. So I'm going to enlarge it and then move it around till we can find our property. And there's Blake. So we know, let's see, there's Prospect. And there's West Washington. So this is the property we're looking for. Now it's kind of light, so I don't know if you can see it, but it says Florence Hughes Phillips. That is the owner of the land at this time period, 1950. We also see 311, so we know this is the lot we're looking for. No address is given and no parcel number. However, there is a date, November 5th, 1948. This information is probably the last transaction that happened on this property, and it is recorded at the recorder's office. So again, this information is very important to keep about that property. Now we know that the auditor's office said in its description that the house was built in 1890. So I'm only going to go back to 1900 just to give you another glimpse of what it looks like on these different types of maps, because they're all pretty much different than each other. So I'm going to click on 1900, bring up the boxes, and we're going to do it again. We'll go up to the navy blue eye with the eye on it, click that eye, make sure we have our little light circle with the crosshairs, and then click on that. We notice that it's 14, so we're going to look for the number 14, and there it is, and we view it. We'll download the PDF, and we'll open it, and we're going to scroll to where we want to see it. There's Blake, there's Washington, there's Prospect. Now we see there's the lot number, 311. Here's the owner, Elizabeth B. McDowell, which makes a lot of sense because it is known now as the McDowell Phillips house. So McDowell was the owner in 1900, and in 1950, it was Phillips. You know that Elizabeth B. McDowell is the owner of this property, and this is the property here and the lot number. So even back in 1900, the lot was still known as Lot 311. Again, you're going to want to make a copy of this. Keep that information close for when you continue for your continued research. I'm not going to go back any farther than 1900. because they are different, but you can go back and look through them if you want. But you can always go all the way back to 1927. They get harder and harder to figure out, but definitely play around and you'll get the hang of it. What I want to show you now is one more step. Go back up to the eye and click it till you get that lovely circle again. And you're just going to come over to the parcel number now and click on the parcel number. And to the left under identify is the parcel information. So we know we have the right one. There's 379, the Historical Society, and the lot 9208. We want to look at the deed. So if you click on deed, and it says it automatically redirects it, but give it a few seconds because it's not as automatic as you think it should be. So don't worry about clicking. If it takes more than like 30 seconds, then I would. But it takes time to download, though, so give it time. And then you'll see the two names that we saw at the very beginning, Phillips and the Historical Society. That was the 2019 transaction. Here's the 2018 transaction between the same family's members. We want to get more information about that. So we'll click on that number, which is the document number, and it gives us some information. There's the numbers over here. So it gives you the 3 different parcels and 3 different lot numbers. And there's the original one that we knew of, and there's the old lot number. So you know now that this is the old lot. If you scroll over it, it should say, yeah, there it is, that this 311 is a retired number, and that 379 is the new lot number 9208. There's another number, 9209, which means a portion of lot 311 was divided into 2 places, 379 and 380. So there's 2 different pieces of property now. Instead of 311, it's lot 9208 and lot 9209. And that was the transaction that happened in 2018. So again, you're going to want to keep this information. They have a printer-friendly button. I'm going to talk more about the recorder's office in the blog that I'm going to post next month. So you'll use all the information that you found at the auditor's office, and then you're going to take it to the recorder's office. And I'll show you next month how you're going to do that.